Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'll be taking a look at Ascent. Now, this game has come under a little bit of controversy due to some of the versions not being equal. So the Game Pass version unfortunately doesn't have DLSS support, whereas the Steam version does. That's caused quite a problem for some people. So playing at a resolution of 3840 by 2160 using ultra settings. I'm using also resolution scale at 100. Now DirectX 12 mode gives you access to ray tracing features such as shadows, reflections, and ambient occlusion. However, the devs have recommended DirectX 11 mode, as DirectX 12 mode does have problems at the moment. However, I'm going to use DirectX 12 mode just so I can use ray trace reflections, as I think it does add something to the game. Now, again, I'm using the Steam version, so I do have access to DLSS, and I recommend using the balance mode if you're playing at 4K, as it keeps the game just above 60 frames per second. And with an RTX 3090, you'd expect a little bit better performance, but this game is that heavy that it's definitely required. But at the same time, it doesn't impact visual quality too much because it's the kind of game where it still looks pretty sharp and good. Now, I'm about 7 hours into the game, really enjoying it. I'm actually going to just quickly show you the kind of gear I'm using. So in terms of weapons, I'm using the EBR Enforcer. It's like a kind of a electric, what would you describe it as, a burst rifle? It's an energy burst rifle. And for my secondary weapon, I'm using the HMG42 Dominator. So basically a machine gun with a 100 round magazine, which will keep a lot of enemies off of you if you're getting backed up. In terms of armor, I'm using the F40 Hammerhead helmet, ED50 Urban Operator armor, P50 propulsion protector. So I've got pretty heavy armor. It doesn't give me the best movement, but to counter that, I've got something called the Javelin Dash, which helps boost your evasion, so I can kind of dash around. So that's pretty much my build at the moment. The game in DirectX 12 mode has a lot of frame spikes, while you're in DirectX 11 mode, they're very few and far in between. So I recommend you playing it in DirectX 11 mode, but for the purpose of kind of showing the game in the state that it's in now, I'm just going to run DirectX 12 mode. So I've got a few enemies here that want to play with me. Use my energy beam weapon. These guys have got no chance against me. I'm a much higher level than them. So I've got a mission where I have to take the elevator down into the underground of this this kind of, I don't know, space station type building, and I've got something to do down there. So most of the mission will be done in the bowels of this city, but it'll be good because none of you guys have seen it. Well, I haven't done a mission down there yet, so let's see what we get up to. Performance, it's okay. You're gonna average around the high 60s to the 70s when there's not much going on. But as you saw when I was in the city, when there's a lot of NPCs around, I was getting around 63 frames per second, so things can still get quite heavy. So this is a loading area, so you'll see quite a lot of frame spikes here, but don't worry, that's normal. Okay, so we've got to go to the reactor facility. I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of hostiles on my way, but I won't really be fighting humans. It will more be creatures and rogue robots and things like that. But I'm ready for them. Talking a little bit more about the way the game looks, I'm very happy with the presentation. I think it looks amazing. So much detail in the game if you take the time to look at it. With a few enemies ahead. We'll have basically rodents, in my opinion, down here. They're not that dangerous, but there's a lot of them, so you will get ambushed quite heavily. That's why the 100 round magazine comes in handy. I love this special. Just takes everyone out. I remember the first time I was down here, because this is the first mission you do when you start playing the game. You're pretty much fighting for your life. But when you come back here with good gear, good weapons and specials, these guys are just pretty much just getting in the way. Hopefully I'll find some challenging bosses down here. So this is what I meant about, there's a lot of them, even though they're pretty weak, they do tend to gang up on you quite a bit. But I love the 100 round magazine, this keeps everyone off of you. That's perfect in this type of scenario. And even though I'm wearing heavy armor, I can kind of teleport with that special ability, so I'm not really slowing down when it comes to evasion. These guys are useless. So down here in the basement, obviously you can see I'm getting over 80 frames per second. So it's a lot less demanding down here. But for those who don't know, this game was made by a development team called, I think it's called Neon Giant, and there was only 11 people that made this game, so props to them, they've done a really good job. And looking forward to see them basically do as much as they can to get the game a bit more optimized. So hopefully they'll definitely have some continued support, but I've really enjoyed the game so far. Pleasantly surprised with the experience, because it is like a full-blown RPG, but just with this kind of top-down, you know, almost Command and Conquer Red Alert type. I wouldn't even say that, I would say more like Loki or Diablo 2 feel to it. So it's an interesting experience for me. Because these type of games usually just have swords and shields and axes and stuff like that, but to have guns in a cyberpunk kind of universe, it's just a completely different experience. Come on, let's see what you guys have got. I really love that special. That's my favourite special in the whole game so far. Okay, this area is blocked. Find another way around. It's certainly my favourite indie game of the year so far, and hopefully they have a lot of success with this, because it is a good game for those who want to give it a chance. And even on console, pretty much on all variations of the Xbox, so if you've got an old Xbox lying around, just pick it up on that if you don't have a PC that can run it. Come on guys. There's a lot of enemies down here. Okay, we got a boss now. I'm going to change to this weapon because it's more useful. So the ENB Enforcer is a lot better against mechanical type enemies rather than the Dominator. That's a very big machine gun really. So certain different weapons have better advantages against certain enemies. So there is a tactical thought that goes into some of the things you do. Obviously, if you're not running high armor like me, you're gonna have to use cover a lot more. Just running through these guys, they're not really providing much resistance, but I'm the kind of guy that likes to do all of the side quests that I can, so I'm a little bit overpowered for this area. Because this is basically the second main mission in the game. And I've just done a heap of side quests in between. So I'm like really powerful for where I am in the game. Damn, these guys don't let up, do they? They're getting stronger as well. So I'll show off the other gun just for the viewer's sake. It's just as effective against these little things anyway. Go with these guys real quick. So we have to go all the way down here. So the stages are pretty big, so I enjoy that about the game. There's hardly any loading, really. Okay, I can finally get past this place. I'm a proper scavenger, I just like to nose around and get everything I can. The game does reward you for your curiosity. Sometimes you'll just venture into areas far away from the waypoint and you'll find something good, so get into the habit of doing that. Nice. So this is uncharted territory for me. I haven't been able to get this far in the basement before because it was locked behind that radiation door, but now that's been opened up as it's part of the main mission, so I'm seeing this for the first time. Well, these guys thought they could ambush me, but they didn't realize how armored up I am. But they were in for a rude awakening and took them out very quickly. So the game's been playing quite smoothly for playing in DirectX 12. It's usually a little bit more choppy than this, so I'm pleasantly surprised that it's working so well. I mean, a lot of you guys have said DirectX 12 mode is just a stuttering mess, and for the most part I do concur with that, but depending on what settings you're running, it's not always the case, or maybe it depends on where you are in the game. I'm going to change back to my Dominator now. Actually no, this is the better gun to use. As you can see, kills these robots with one shot, so it's a lot more effective. This bypasses the armor. Okay, end of the road. Let's keep it moving. So for those who don't know, the red lines here are my health and the blues like my battery power for my energy. So you have cooldowns with your specials, but you also need to have energy to use them as well. So I've been pumping my health with every single level I've had in the game, so that's pretty much why my health is, I got quite a bit of it. So you can take cover if you need to, and then look up and kill enemies. So you don't have to just kind of be a bit of a bullet sponge, but because I've kind of made a tanky build, it's just kind of my fighting style. I'd rather kind of stand in front of danger and just get rid of it. And my tactical special is actually to rejuvenate, so if I'm really getting pounded, I can also regenerate my health if needed. So I've kind of thought it through, and for me this has been the most effective way. Okay, new destination, raise energy output. Wonder where that's going to take us. Where the hell did this guy come from? He wasn't there when I was coming around the corner. With the 950X, pretty much as idle. The game does recommend an 8-core CPU, funnily enough, but from what I've seen so far, you probably won't need one. But then again, CPU usage may be higher at lower resolutions, where there's less of a GPU bottleneck. As I said, I like to kind of search the area, so now have a quick look around just to make sure I haven't missed anything good. Okay, I've already been this way, so that's fine. What is this? Oh, it's just a gun that I've already got. You should always pick up duplicate weapons because that's like your main source of income. You can just sell it on and just make some new credits. You get vending machines like this that you can either hack or spend money to buy health. Well, right now my health is full, so I'm okay. So if you're wondering what difficulty I'm playing on, I'm just playing on normal. I always play games on normal the first time I play them. But the only reason why it's so easy is because I put a lot of time into leveling up my character. So the game generally is more challenging. If you just wanted to jump straight into the main story, you wouldn't be getting past this area as quick as I am. It would be far more challenging, but I'm like level 18 now, so this mission is only recommended at level 2, I believe, so I'm like way overpowered. Okay, so now we have to override the distribution hub. It's quite a complex job, there's so many parts to it, but hopefully it leads to stronger and more dangerous enemies. And ultimately better loot as well. And there would have been a time that part would have been a bit of a struggle for me, but because I got so much health and good armor and weapons, child's play. It did take quite a bit of damage though, so I'm gonna have to heal up when I get the opportunity. Have a look around here, see if there's anything I missed. It's always about exploring, you never know what you might find. Let's see what's down here. Okay, there's nothing more down here. Let's head on back to the objective. Make sure both weapons are ready to go. Okay, so conceal drain from the tokamak side, whatever that is. So just gotta wrap things up here. Something told me I'm going to meet a lot of resistance. I'm just going to keep an eye out, because usually when you're trying to get away, you meet a boss just like that. Okay, so these little things look explosive. Just keep my distance. I should be okay. Okay, I've taken down one. There's a few more.
Refreshing. You should stand down, Indent. We don't want to disintegrate you just yet. Were you trying to create a supernova just now? Because that's what your uninformed meddling with the Taurus containment field would have led to. That your stack boss asked you to do this only confirms his incompetence. Luckily, we are in control now. This tokamak is now the property of Y-Corp. So is your stack cluster, and so is every indent registered there, including yourself. Your indentured contracts have been transferred and renewed in accordance with existing agreements and standard protocol, etc., etc. In short, you belong to us for what remains of your pitiful life expectancy. However, while you have demonstrated an alarming lack of cognitive skills, you have also shown an aptitude for applying lethal solutions to conflicted situations. This might be of some use to Y-Corp. So, we wish to test your abilities by giving you a special assignment. A trial of sorts. Success will raise you above the filthy mass of regular indents and provide you with certain perks. And you'll be given a chance at earning your freedom. We will set up an operations center in Cluster 13. Come find us there.
Okay, that was interesting ending. Okay guys, I think I'll leave it there. This is just another look at the Ascent, trying to show you what the performance is looking like after the day one patch. Hopefully you found this interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.